Hello and welcome to this episode of I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, where today I'm going to be talking about and asking you the question, are you preparing your kids for adulthood? So the big question is this: how are parents like us, who don't have a manual, who are doing the best we can, who feel as though we aren't enough, how are we going to raise healthy, happy children who we are proud of and still keep our sanity in that process? That's the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Ryan Roy, and welcome to I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, a podcast for parents who are being real with themselves. Hello and welcome back to this episode of I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, where today I'm going to be asking you the question, are you really preparing yourself for adulthood? So I always like to start and tell you what prompted this thought or this idea or why this episode. And there's actually twofold on this one. Last week when I interviewed Tom Andre, I was thinking to myself, he mentioned something where I said, hey, I'm implementing this strategy with my son, or I'm implementing this strategy, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but he says, hey, you're leveling up. You're giving your child more responsibility when you're putting those things. They're ready for the next level, you give them the next level. And, I recall what it was. He asked me if my son had chores around the house, and I said he doesn't necessarily have chores, but something as simple as the other day, my wife's like, where's the broom? I was like, I had to sweep up something in the office. I think I left it down there. And I have a 7.5-year-old with a lot of energy. And I'll say, hey, can you go get the broom for Dad? And boom, no questions, no hesitation. Or, hey, can you help me unload the dishwasher? Boom, no hesitation. Hey, I need a little bit of help washing the cars. Can you come out and help me wash the cars? Boom, no hesitation. So when there is a chore or something that needs to be done, there's really not a lot of hesitation. Can you feed the cat? Boom, no hesitation. And his job, he actually has two jobs, if I need to be completely transparent. His number one job, and I explained this to him early and I still do it often, is, hey, your job is to go to school and perform and do the best you can. Like, Daddy works, Daddy has things he has to do, Mommy goes to work, she has things. Your job right now as a kid is to go and make sure that you're learning at a high level at school. Like, listen, pay attention, do the work, get the best grade you possibly can, and as long as you're giving your best effort, you will always receive praise from Mom and Dad. That's his job. His other job is being a big brother. And this is a conversation, could be a whole other podcast episode of how to prepare your first child to not get all the attention. And I said, listen, you have no responsibility when it comes to your little brother. You are a child yourself. I don't want him to feel like he had to be something. I said, you have one job when it comes to your little brother. And he's known this since halfway through the pregnancy. And he says, what's that, Dad? I said, your job is to love your little brother. And whatever that looks like for you, show him love. I don't know if that means, and it's great because he, every night before he goes to bed, he's got to give his little brother a hug. He will not let it go without. And it's so cool to watch his brother light up and lean into him when he gets his hug. His other job as loving his brother, and I said, well, why do you play blocks with him? I love him, Dad, and I like to play blocks with him. I know he likes doing this with me, running around the house. He understands that his responsibility is to play a role, but it's just to love his brother. Often, and sometimes I wonder, I love that he has this awareness. They're like, hey, Dad, Jaden's got that Lego, and I'm worried about it. And at this point, his brother doesn't put anything in his mouth or anything crazy like that. And I said, I think your brother's mature enough now. I think we can trust him. I said, but I appreciate you still being thoughtful and aware of it. But let's keep an eye on him. But I think we could trust him to have it. We don't have to take it away at this point. Okay, Dad. But he's loving on his brother. So this is called leveling up, giving them responsibility and having conversations with them that they fully understand and can receive it. And I'll be the first to admit that there's times where he asks me questions such as, Dad, why can't I watch a PG-13 movie that all my friends have watched? And, well, Daddy watched the content, and I don't think it's appropriate for you at this point. And not only do I not think it's appropriate, they gave me a guideline that 13-year-olds should be watching this. So Dad took that into consideration. He watched the movie himself, and I agree with their assessment. Now, there's PG-13 movies that I don't agree with their assessment because I believe my son is mature enough or understands things enough that he can watch those movies. But there are guidelines. I am not leveling him up before he's ready to be leveled up in many areas of life. But the other part of this is I am a coach by trade. I'm a life coach. And I was asked by a client to talk to their 21-year-old college student as to the next logical moves in life as this person is pondering a lot of stuff. And after an hour and a half conversation of asking a lot of the questions and digging deeper as to why this person is considering these different things and creating a plan to execute on what this person thought, I said, what's your biggest fear of moving forward with the coaching? What is the biggest thing that would hinder you from, actually moving forward and having somebody help you accomplish what you said you wanted to accomplish? We made a little plan here, but there's an execution in the plan that you're probably going to need some help with. And the response was, doesn't sound like a lot of fun. Now, this person's 21 years old, and I use terminology such as you need to start making decisions, adult decisions, and you need to start adulting somewhere here in the near future. And the fear is that this person has to make decisions. This person has to make life decisions and needs to start planting seeds that can grow and nurture into a life of abundance. And my client saw that there were some challenges with their child and asked me to have a conversation. And I thought to myself, when you were back in your 15, 16, 17, I was empowered in a lot of ways to make my own decisions. I was empowered to make good and bad decisions for myself. But if I made bad decisions, the only requirement of my mother was, look, you're going to make mistakes in life, that's fine. Just learn from them. So I was able to make a lot of decisions really quick and learn and adapt and gather information. And I really didn't have a safety net. So my mom, at a young age, knowing that maybe she didn't have a financial safety net for me, or even at times because she worked a lot of hours, didn't have that emotional safety net for me. So she empowered me to make a lot of decisions and fall and fail so that I could later succeed. And I'm listening to this young adult yesterday saying, and she didn't say it, but she meant it. I am scared to death of growing up. And if this program is going to make me grow up sooner than I want to, I am uninterested. And the challenge with that is she has a lot of lofty goals that are not going to be achieved in her state of indecisiveness. Because she's never been required, or at least to my knowledge, to make real decisions for herself. They were all predisposed for her. Like, hey, you're going to go to school. Hey, you're probably going to be involved in certain activities. Hey, we're going to travel and see the world. Hey, you're going to, after high school, you're going to go into college. And you know what? Just take a core business courses. And then she had some challenges in math and shifted gears there. And now she has aspirations of law school. But I think every single one of those decisions were predisposed to her until she hit some of those tough bumps in the road. Oh, I'm not going to stick with this and go to, I don't understand these math classes, so I'm not going to apply myself. I'm just going to shift and make it easier for myself. And shifted gears. And now it's, okay, the bank is running out because mom and dad are no longer going to be funding college, and I'm no longer going to be able to go traveling. How do I extend this childlike dream? And the solution is get a lot of student loan debt and go to law school. I said, how long is law school? I'm unfamiliar. I didn't go to law school. She goes, well, some people could do it in 2 years, but I'm going to do it in 4 because I'm going to work while I'm doing it. Extend that childhood dream. I don't need to become an adult yet as long as I'm doing this. So then I asked what it looked like to acquire that law degree over a 4-year period. And it wasn't inexpensive, right? She estimates, out of state tuition of 40 to 75 grand a year. Housing and everything. I don't know about you, but 4 years at 75 grand, the high end of that is $300,000 of potential debt that I would not want to start my life with. And she would be 26 years old if she were to finish right now her last year of college and go right to school. To make an adult decision to do that without looking at the numbers or looking at the ramifications is a challenge. See, I don't know jack about parenting, but I allow my kids to make a ton of decisions. I don't know. Is that the best decision for you? Those words come out of my mouth so many times. I said, what happens if you make that decision? Well, I guess I wouldn't be able to do this, or I wouldn't be able to do that, or I could do this. Great. Make a decision. You understand the consequences or benefits to your action or decision. Make the best one for you. Well, what do you think, Dad? Well, I think it's time for you to make a decision. I think you're old enough to make those decisions for yourself. And he's 7.5. What am I doing there? I'm empowering him to critically think, find out the benefits, I am creating somebody, hopefully, that is able to make decisions for himself in a positive way that impacts his life for life. Are we preparing our kids, parents, to become adults who are responsible? See, I know the fear of the parents that asked me to intervene. And she may come on as a client or not. I just sent off a letter saying, and the last statement is, the ball is in your court. It's time to make an adult decision. Now, mom and dad are willing to pay for the coaching. All she needs to do is say whether or not she wants help. Question is, if for me, if she can't make the decision to do it and it's free to her and the parents are willing to pay for it, I'm uninterested in coaching this person anyway. Because we got to start with at least one decision that she knows through the questions would be a great benefit to her. But the fear is that she's actually going to have to do some adult work. If she's not ready to do the work, I can't really help her. So the question is, are you empowering your kids to make decisions early and often? And coaching them through those decisions, like, I think I shared this in a podcast, I'm not sure. My son went and had ice cream the other day with me. He got something that he'd never had before. It sounded good. I told him it didn't sound very good. He didn't like it. He had to deal with the decision. I said, did Daddy allow you to make that decision? Yes. So live with it. Like, next time you'll make a better decision for yourself. There's 50 things up there you know you loved. He loves chocolate. Why'd you pick something without chocolate and ice cream? I wanted to try it. Well, fantastic. You've tried it. But as he gets older, he's going to say, I want to try something new. But if I don't like it, I got to deal with that consequence. Like, I spent all my money to buy this thing, and maybe through those decisions, he won't spend all of his money, or he'll make a decision that he knows he'll be happy with. But those decisions don't happen at 18, 19, and 20 if they don't happen in the ice cream shop at 7. And I've seen way too many parents say, you're not going to like that, I'm not buying it, and you're just going to get what I want. And those same kids go out and make poor decisions as adults because they were never able to make decisions as a child and learn for them themselves. See, the only thing we truly know in this life is things we experience. He experienced having a poor decision. And I watch too many parents saying, no, I don't want you to make a poor decision. I'm going to make a better decision for you. My son goes and gets books sometimes, and I'm like, he's going to hate that book. He is not into that stuff. And he's like, I want to try it. I want to read it. And he'll read like the first 10 pages, and he's like, Dad, this book sucks. And I'll say, well, do you really like horror stuff? I mean, you went to the horror section, you saw a cool little cover, you saw a story, and is that what you like? You don't even like horror movies. We tried to watch them, they bore you. You're not even scared and you're uninterested. Why would you get a horror book? But I allow him to get the horror book and have the experience so that he has the database to say, I'm not getting a horror book anymore, because as much as I thought it was going to be cool, I know because I experienced it, it's not as cool as I thought it was going to be. Parents, allow your kids to make decisions. Allow them to level up. Allow them to level up into adulthood. And I'll say this. I had a conversation with the parents and I had a conversation with the daughter, and there may be a disconnect. I don't know. I'll get some clarity around this. But the parents said they're not helping with law school. And that tune has changed in a very short period of time. Because as soon as she said she wanted to go to law school, the tune changed because parents don't want to see their daughter fail. Well, I'll help you with that. Don't help her. Allow her to level up. If that's her decision to go out of state and pay 4 times as much money, that's her decision. She doesn't want the inexpensive education over here because, she just doesn't want to be here. She wants. So if that's what she wants, she's got to learn how to pay for it. That's leveling up. So part of this young lady's challenge is stem from the safety nets that her parents have created. And she doesn't know any better. So it's not her fault. But at some point, parents, and I don't know if that's at 5 where they level up to 7 and 8-year-old decisions, or if that's at 8 where you level them up to 10-year-old decisions, and I don't know if that's 10 and you level them up to 13-year-old decisions, or if it's 18 and you start leveling them up to 21 and 22-year-old decisions, and at 22 leveling them up to 25-year-old decisions, and then letting them fly. I'll tell you, in my opinion, there's no research behind this. You need to level them up at every level. And there's too many parents still treating their 18-year-olds and their 21-year-olds like they're 10. And they don't allow them to make decisions for themselves. And now they're about to venture out into the world and make a lot of mistakes that could have been avoided and could have been learned in the proverbial ice cream shop. We'll see you in the next episode. Do you want to be the dad you wish you had? If so, go get my free book, Be the Dad You Wish You Had, at BeTheDadYouWishYouHad.com. Inside, you'll find my most effective 40 tips to quickly and easily transform yourself into the ideal dad. Go to BeTheDadYouWishYouHad.com now and get it while it's free.